Hello and welcome to the Sheffield United Way YouTube channel. This is our transfer deadline day special. This is quite possibly is and going to be our most exciting transfer deadline day ever. I'm going to say of my lifetime, but it wasn't much of a thing back before I was born. I'll bring in Hal. How are you doing today, my friend?
What a day, Nick. What a day it has been. I've gone from never having heard of a player to them being my new mastermind subject.
I know. There's so many amazing players that have come through the door and continuing to come through the door.
The door is like a revolving door all day. We've just been hearing name after name. We're going to have some news for you as well, which is quite exciting. We've got a few sources that have given us some information. We'll get to that. I think the most important thing, Nick, is probably to tell you about my encounter with Jackie Longthrow, Jack Robinson.
I think you've got to, haven't you? It's just a bit of a gutting thing that we didn't quite get it on camera, but go for it.
You were there. This was at Kenilworth Road, and just as the game had finished, you and I were outside, weren't we, Nick, just sort of milling about. And Jack Robinson walked past when most of the fans had gone, and I was the only one who spotted him.
You was, weren't you?
You didn't see him at all. And I said, I think I'll try and get this right. I think I said, "Hi, Jack," which he's heard many times before. Have you got a moment to speak to the number one Sheffield United fan channel? He said he took a moment to pause. He looked at his phone and he said, "Oh, I'm really busy, lads. Sorry." What do you think that translates to, Nick?
I'll let you say.
Well, I'll tell you what. Ask me to describe it in a certain way.
What? Right. Just describe it to me in Blades terms.
In Blades terms. So it's more like, yes, you hear Beattie is playing up front. You arrive and you see it's Craig Beattie. Because really, the translation of that was, I do not want to talk to that bearded weirdo and his friends.
Yeah, exactly. That short bearded weirdo.
All right, mate. I've had quite a bit of that grief after that fan cam. Do you want to talk about fan cams?
Yeah, well, I think we'll talk about fan cams when Luke comes in. I think it's only right because we've got a new channel. We'll obviously talk about that in a bit with Luke, and it's great to have Luke on board, isn't it? Luke was brilliant.
All right, let's get straight into it then. There's a few rumours flying around. I think the ones we should talk about first, though, are the confirmed. Nick, tell me about Morgan Gibbs-White.
I'm so glad you've asked me about that because we've got a guest coming on in a second, but I'll quickly go through the things that we know about Morgan Gibbs-White. I've already got a song for him already. I've already popped it in the comments. If you've not seen it already, I'll probably sing it at some point. He's a 21-year-old English attacking midfielder. He joins on a long loan from Wolves, season-long loan, we're thinking. He has played 64 games for Wolves, scoring 1 goal for them last season against Brighton. It was one hell of a goal as well. I'm sure Ed will tell us about that in a second. He also went on loan to Swansea in 2020-2021 last season, but only lasted 5 games as he fractured his foot and was out for around 3 months, something like that. But he also scored for Swansea in those 5 short games as well. He's also international recognised as he played for every English kind of level from, I think it was under 16s to under 21s. And he also won the World Cup for England under 17s in 2017, scoring 2 goals in that competition himself. But we don't just want to hear from us two, do we, Hal? What we'll do is we'll bring in an actual wolf. Here he is. Ed Haig Saunders. Welcome to the channel, mate. How are you doing?
Thank you for having me. I'm doing good, thank you.
Good stuff. This whole branding that we've got today, this yellowy branding, is it making you feel at home?
Yeah, it's very nice. I was looking at the badge before I came on. It's good. You got a very nice setup here, so yeah, loving it.
Thank you very much, mate. And we've got you on to talk about our new signing or our new loan signing, Morgan Gibbs-White. Can you tell us a little bit more about him that I've not already mentioned?
Yeah, so as you said, attacking midfielder, very good on the ball. That's one thing I will say about him. He knows how to beat a man, and I think you've obviously had problems going forward this season and sticking it in the net. And I think he will add another string to your bow of creativity, which will help you out a lot. He's very, I wouldn't compare him to Jack Grealish, but sort of the way that he beats a man and is on the ball is similar to Jack Grealish. Obviously, not the same ability, but very, very good on the ball. And there was a game that stood out when we got promoted to the Premier League, the first season against Chelsea, where we were 1-0 down, struggling for creativity in front of goal. We brought Gibbs-White on, the game flipped on its head. I've never seen a game flip on its head quite like that. And that was because of Gibbs-White. He beat a man. I think he got an assist for Raul Jimenez's goal and really did get us back into the game. So he's one of them guys that will drop a shoulder, beat a man, and create a lot of chances when he's on it. But that's the big thing with Gibbs-White. If he's on it, he's on it. If he's not, he can come across as a bit lazy and a bit sort of just roaming around. That's one of the things I will say about him.
Why are people saying to us on Twitter, he doesn't score enough goals, this isn't going to be a good signing? I mean, are they just being doom and gloom merchants because that's the Blades way?
Well, if you look at his stats, he doesn't really score enough goals. I think he scored 3 goals for us as a club in 86 games in all leagues, scored for Swansea. But I don't think, obviously goal scoring is one thing in every every attacking player's game, which they have to have. But Gibbs-White is more of that player that's going to drop deep, pick holes in the defense, get on the ball, beat a man, draw a defender out of position to slide through a pass to either get an assist or an assist of an assist, if you get what I mean. I think goal scoring is one thing that he needs to add to his game. And quite often for Wolves, he's been brought off the bench to be sort of the man that changes that game, and he changes the game, and he hasn't really been that man just because he doesn't score enough goals. But I think in the Championship, he will do very well. We saw it at Swansea before he got that nasty injury. He was very, very good for Swansea, and he created a lot of chances. And as Nick said, scored a good goal for Swansea. So, yeah, I think it's a very positive signing for you lot.
I think I've watched bits and bobs of him, and obviously I saw that he'd scored for you guys in the Premier League, and I wanted to see what that goal was, and it was obviously against Brighton. I saw 2 things from him. He missed an absolute sitter, and then he scored a great goal. So is that what we're going to see from him? A bit of hit and miss, do you think?
I think I wouldn't be surprised if you saw hit and miss. As I said, when he's on it, he looks like he looks similar to Phil Foden. When he's really at the pinnacle of his game, he honestly can change a game in the Premier League, as we saw against Chelsea. But when he's not on his game, you see that. You see hit and miss. You see missing a sitter from 5 yards. You see misplaced passes. But I think the excitability that he will bring to Bramall Lane and his ability to beat a man and, as I said earlier, draw defenders out of position is incredible. And I think, obviously, you guys have struggled. I haven't seen much of you this season. I don't know if it's putting the ball in the net or creating the chances that's the issue. But if it's creating the chances, he will go a long way to solving that. If it's putting the ball in the net, I don't think he's really a man, but he will create goal-scoring opportunities for Sheffield United.
I've got a quote from him. Delighted to be in the doors. So multiple doors. All signed up and ready to get started. Coming here is a good opportunity to get game time and help the Blades get back to winning ways. I've watched the club. The style of play intrigued me. It's a very interesting way of saying it. It's interesting. I mean, we're doing Jack Robinson translations today. I'm here to get involved. I'm looking forward to playing for the new manager. His reputation and record speaks for itself at this level. And I should point out, I did say on Twitter, Nick, what I also said to Jack Robinson, which I didn't mention in that story, which was when he left. I didn't know what to say. I panicked, Nick. And I said, Jack, big fan. And off he went. Ed, you're an absolute legend. I'm going to put you on the spot. This is the last question. If you had to rate this loan signing out of 10 for the Blades, I know it's a bit of a stupid gauge system, but hey, we've picked it. What are you giving this one?
Obviously, my knowledge of Sheffield United stretches as far as watching them in the Premier League and a little bit of seeing what Nick's put on Twitter. I'd say it's a very good loan signing. I think he's struggling for game time at Wolves. To my knowledge, I don't think it was a good loan signing for us because we're left with 18 top professional players now. But for Sheffield United, I think it's a very good signing. He'll get game time. He'll have that ability to grow, which he showed signs of doing at Swansea, but wasn't really able to do because of the injury. So I think out of 10, I'd say I'd say a 7.5 for you guys. I think when he's on it, he can really, really impact a game in the Premier League. So I'd love to see what he can do in the Championship, but it's just getting him on it constantly and that consistency which you'll need and which you'll get from game time, hopefully, at Sheffield United.
Sorry, Ed. Can I ask you one more question? I know Hal said that with the last one, but
final question. This
final question. What positions has he played for Wolves? Is it that top of the diamond? Can he play right or left? Where's he played?
So for Wolves, under Nuno, he played sort of with our 3-4-3 formation. He was sort of in that lingo phase where he didn't really have a position. So he played sort of a centre midfielder with an attacking mindset, with Neves or Moutinho as a holding midfielder. And then when Bruno Lage came in, he sort of, again, didn't really have a position. So we stuck him out wide left and sometimes brought him on as that number 10. But I know for England, he played England under 17s when he shined in that World Cup. He played in that number 10 and he absolutely bossed it. And when he did come on for Wolves, and his best games for Wolves was that midfielder with that attacking mindset. So I think that number 10, or, recently you guys have played 3-5-2. So maybe an attacking midfielder with an attacking mindset would be best for him.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much for that. We'll leave you to your evening. I literally messaged Ed about half an hour ago and says, fancy jumping on? And you've been absolutely brilliant, mate. Thanks for joining us today.
No worries. Thank you for having me.
No worries.
Great to have you on, Ed Haig. I mean, if you expected lots more fans from other clubs to talk about their players, you're going to be disappointed, because instead we thought, as this is a Sheffield United stream, we would actually get on as many blades as possible. And 𝐿𝐼𝐚𝐧𝐬𝐜𝐚𝐷𝐝 is the next one that we are welcoming to the channel. Professional broadcaster, radio producer.
Debatable.
I mean,
debatable.
He's got the kit, he's got the caboodle, but does he have the knowledge? Let's find out. Liam, Morgan Gibbs-White, what you've just heard, are you now salivating?
Oof, it's the best day of the year, guys. Obviously, transfer deadline day, unless you're a Blaze fan, of course. But it's positive signs. It's a really positive signs. It's a massive improvement from what we've got. I do think he'll add that extra flair, that bit more pizzazz, if I could use that bit of flair to the team. But I'd like to see more. I mean, fair enough, time's going by, and I don't know if you guys are aware, because obviously we were linked with Sam Morsey, but he's recently joined Ipswich Town, so that's another one gone.
Gone.
Do you know how much research I did today on Sam Morsey? I feel like I just want to read it all out. just because I spent so much time on it.
You may as well. You might have.
I'll tell you one thing about him.
Go on.
All right, he's 29. He's 5'9". His full name is Sami Saeed Morsey. His dad's Egyptian. He was born in Wolverhampton. He's got 7 caps for his country. I could go on. I won't bother. Thanks, Liam.
You've been dying to say that, aren't you? I'm sorry, Al. I'm really sorry.
You're right to bring us this information.
I'm really sorry. I've just ruined it now. That's it now. I'll just leave, shall I? But no, obviously it's positive signs, and it's one that I think a lot of fans would have wanted. Obviously, it was one of the earlier rumours because it's been flying about left, right, and centre. Obviously, Nick's been making a list and things like that. But it's positive signs. It's better than what we've got. Dare I say it? But I don't know. I still think we need another winger. We need a striker. And definitely need a goalkeeper, but I don't know, guys. It's positive signs, though, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you think we need another striker then, or do you not think that we've got enough in the bank? I know they've not been scoring goals this season, but is that not just down to not creating enough chances?
Well, it could be, yeah. I think you've got a fair point there, Nick. I think time will tell. I hate to use that old cliche, but I do think time will tell. I think come to end at transfer window, we'll see what happens, see who comes in. And there's a debate there to be said about the service. Obviously, like you've got Brewster, McBurney, Sharp, Didzy. Didzy's already had his fair share of skeptics so far this season. But he's not getting the service at this moment in time. But it could all change, guys. It could all change.
Yeah, well, we are rumoured to be linked with Anthony Lozano, a 28-year-old, 6-foot Honduran international, because you mentioned strikers. He is a forward. He's a proper number 9. His full name, you can tell I've done my research today, Anthony Ruben Lozano Colon, also known as Choco Lozano. He is right-footed. I've been watching Narcos. And he spent time before in England with Tottenham Hotspur's reserve team. Apparently he impressed Harry Redknapp because they were down to the bare bones. But Lozano was, when he was back at home, Olympia's top scorer. So he does get goals, 26 in 38 playing for Olympia. And he's been in the setups of Valencia, Barcelona, Girona, and most recently Cadiz. Last year he was with Cadiz. He's currently with Cadiz. He scored the only goal in a 1-0 victory over Real Madrid at the Alfredo Di Stefano Stadium. The first ever away victory for Cadiz against that adversary. He's got 35 caps for his nation. A busy day.
You've had a busy
9
day,
goals.
I could tell.
I'm nearly done.
Sorry.
His career total, 348 appearances, 96 goals. All right, now Anthony Lozano, Nick, we don't think is actually going to happen. I just wanted to fill that time.
Yeah, you absolutely did, didn't you? And you mentioned talking about Barcelona there, didn't you? There's well, sorry, you were talking about the Liga anyway, weren't you?
Hi.
Could this? No, not again, not again. And you're going to do it again.
Deadline Day special. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good day. See you later.
Now, Liam, before you go, what Nick is alluding to is the mini Messi, Alex.
Yeah, of course.
Alex Collado, it would be because it's double L.
Oh no, don't say that.
Well, it's not Collado.
It is. It's Collado.
It'll be Collado, but he's a right winger. He's 5'8". His full name is Alex 𝐍𝐸𝐿𝐵𝐻𝐻. Now, he is someone who can play on the left or the right. Now, that's interesting because we need wingers on both sides. He can even play central midfield. He favours the right wing despite being left-footed. He's Spanish. He has 1 Spain under-19 cap. Alex Collado is going to happen. His strengths are... It's huge. It's a huge signing. I'm so excited about that. His
Have we
strengths
ever
are...
signed anyone from Barcelona before?
Only on FIFA.
Only on FIFA, yeah. Football Manager.
Well, Patrick Sufo was in the Barcelona B setup, although we signed him from Nantes. But
so
anyway.
so no then.
Well, I'm still thinking.
So no.
There's still time yet, Nick. There's still time. There's still time.
Alex Collado. His strengths are his dribbling, his touch. Good passer, fabulously technical player with natural flair. This is where you get excited. Decent vision, good pace. He's not strong. He's not good in the air. He's the perfectly average height for a man. He's 5'8". I have read some reports that he isn't always the hardest working player, but he's known to try tricks. He cuts inside. He loves running with the ball at his feet. He's an exciting crowd pleaser. Alex Collado would be the most exciting signing, I'm going to say it, that Sheffield United have ever made in my lifetime. 105 appearances career, 22 goals, 12 assists. Liam, with what I've just said to you, how excited are you?
It's what we need, guys. And I think a lot, well, you've only got to look at Twitter the last few days. And obviously, like today, it's been highs, lows, up, down, meltdown, no meltdown, calm down. I think it was Danny Hull's tweet that like threw us completely over the edge.
It was, wasn't it? I would think it's exactly the same.
And then everyone was like, and then he had to like correct himself, and then everyone was like, right, okay, calm down, let's reel it back in, and then we're going to win the league and things like that. But
it was Darren Smith as well. Darren Smith did say, "No, we're not going to get any signings in," and it's like, oh god.
He knows what he's doing. So does Dave, by the way. Dave Mosley, £4.49 super sticker. You absolute legend. If you want to join us for a super chat, it'd be fantastic. We have 13,200 subscribers and only 10 paid up members. You're a disgrace.
That's a good way to get the audience out there, isn't it, Al? He loves you, really. He loves you, really. But no, I think it is exactly what we need. Is that bit of flair again. I think we've got 2 very good flair players, which we didn't have before. And I think he'll excite the crowd, behave, and I think he'll get us up and go out of our seats, really. And I think that's what we need at this moment in time. Obviously, last season we can forget about that. And this season we need something to get us going, get us riled, and get us excited about what the season has to offer and what he can bring to the side. And I think he'll be a fan favourite, Hal. I do honestly think he will. But the best player that we've ever signed
Oh, you know me. If you saw my fan cam reaction at Luton, I say things I don't necessarily mean when I get overexcited. Hey, you can do a match preview praising Luton and say they're going to win 2-0 and predict them for promotion, but you say one main thing and your DMs are flooded for a day. Listen,
Look, it was one message.
Let's get back to Alex Collado, please.
All right, he's gonna happen, Nick.
Have you actually watched him on? I know it's on YouTube, but oh my God, he looks
exciting,
insane. He obviously wears the Barcelona shirt, the number 10 shirt as well. So excited! He looks exactly like Messi, and he's going to play like Messi in the Championship.
Thank you very much, Jim Phipps. Liam, we're going to let you go. Thank you for joining us so much. It's been a real pleasure.
Thank you very much for having me on, guys. Yeah,
cheers, Liam.
You know where I am. Cheers, guys. See you later.
Cheers, mate. See you.
I do want to take a moment to talk about Sheffield United's Former Player podcast, now available. Just search Sheffield United Way wherever you get your podcasts, featuring interviews with Paul Devlin, Dean Hammond, Martin Wolford, Goose, Patrick Sufo, who played for Barcelona, Nick Montgomery, Wayne Quinn, and when the ball hits the goal, it's not Shearer or Cole. It's a Saba.
See, you're scaring me, Hal. I've been texting Nick. I'm busy. I don't think I can do this. The Spanish sounds and the pronunciations.
Sabs, it's great to have you on the channel. So, transfer deadline day. I've done my research on the Spanish Messi, but I didn't do any research on this question. Did you ever move on deadline day?
No, not a chance.
Good.
Just do whatever you want deadline day, subs. Go out, do this. Your phone's not going to ring, pal. Don't even charge it.
Well, what did you feel as a player when deadline day came around? Were you nervous, or was it more the case of, I'm going to have to welcome in fresh bodies, new teammates? I don't know if that's actually exciting as a professional, or you like
or players in your position as well, Hal. Players in his position.
Well, it was for me. It was most of the transfer deadlines were in March, or towards. It wasn't a 2 to 2 the end of the season one, and it was always just excitement. Are we going to be making some signings for a push? You were sort of, if there were any players who you didn't like in your team, you'd be hoping you'd be linked with replacements to get them out. There was that sort of inner rivalry and inner, stuff. But no, deadline day was just another day. You'd know about them, the moves months in advance anyway. You know who was interested in you and if it was possible to happen. So there's very little, Odom Wengi moments around my time.
Oh, now for
let me just say, this is what I love about Sabs. He's so honest, honest. And I know exactly what you're going to say. I'll go for it.
Well, for the younger viewers, the Peter Odom-Wingy moment is, as far as I remember, Sabs, correct me if I'm wrong, because I do have a terrible memory, is that he got in the car and drove to, I think, QPR to force a move?
Yeah, it was, well, not really forcing. He thought it was happening, so his agent will have been telling him it's going on. You make it, and it didn't happen. And that was it was Harry Redknapp as well. So it was really, really, it was very public. It was just a sad thing. And he's a lovely guy. And he did well at Stoke. It's just sad it played out on TV. That's the sort of thing that happened to me. I did that once at Stoke. I used to go in before the players because my back was already gone by the time I was at Stoke. So I go in and have a massage, a rub so I got changed, had my massage, had my rub, gone into the changing room to have the team announced. I wasn't even sub. And I'm sat there in my kit. I've already had a rub and I wasn't sub. So yeah, I had my own little Odom Wengi, but more private.
So, Sabs, you're obviously a massive Blades fan now, as all players that play for Sheffield United soon become. So, Morgan Gibbs-White, that's obviously one we've already spoken about. That's been confirmed.
That's a huge sign in that.
Exactly, it is. Tell me about it.
Lumo, my friend Chris Wemlu, who's, I was with him at Stoke. He's now doing a lot of media work for TalkSport, and he's a huge ex-West Wolves player, so he's there a lot, and he's just been texting me, really surprised they've let him out. He's the good thing I think all the Blades should be taking from this transfer window is on the radio, on Twitter, on everything, that all the fans have been crying out for the same energy, enthusiasm, and just a refresh. And it's the manager's been getting a bit of stick, but we can see the manager's on the same page as the fans. And I think that's what, signings, they may work, they may not, but at least we can see he's seeing what the fans are seeing, and he wants what the fans want, and he's trying to change it. And I think the 2 centre midfield signings could, they could breathe life back into the team, because we've got such good players. You don't become bad overnight. I know they may be getting a little leggy, but I just think these two, especially the 2 centre midfield signings, are really, really, giving me so much optimism.
Are you surprised that we've managed to get these players in? Because of, obviously at the moment we're second bottom in the Championship. Yeah, we've just come down from the Premier League, but do players want to sign for a team that's second bottom?
They want to, if you're a player who's not playing in the first team, you want to play in front of fans. And Sheffield United fans are renowned. There's certain teams in certain divisions who you're going to get an atmosphere from. And if you're a player who thrives on atmosphere, why would you not want to play at the Lane? The pitch is incredible. The fans are desperate for something to cheer. This is a perfect time for all these players who are coming in to make themselves, demigods to us fans. It's a perfect time to come in. Of course you want to sign for the Blades.
That's what we like to hear anyway. Is it a big thing to play in front of a big crowd then? Because obviously there's a lot of big crowds in the Championship this season, but obviously that everybody loves playing at Bramall Lane because of the Blade supporters. And everybody always says that, and I know it's a cliche, and it's what a lot of players say when they sign for a club, but everybody always bangs on about how great the Blade supporters are. Was that a big thing for you?
Yeah, I had a few clubs to choose from. I was scared. The first time I played at Bramall Lane was a Tuesday night for Reading, and I crapped myself basically. The lights, it was drizzly.
There he is.
Night. And I was scared.
It's fine.
And I played I played at Wembley for Brentford by the time I was playing for Reading, and it was a really hostile experience. And when you've got the chance, because at Gillingham the fans were really positive to our team. Brentford, they were passive. If you did something well, they'd clap. And Reading were a commuter town. It wasn't really as hectic. But at Sheffield United, you do something, and the fans are there. They're behind you, and it lifts you. And everyone knows that. It's like saying that there's Stoke. Stoke are the same. They're very similar. They're very passionate. And it's well known. It's a great club to play for. And if you've got a choice of Chef U and others, it stands above.
No choice. We want to talk about what you're doing, Sabs. This charity event. Nick has got all the details, but you can tell us as well, can't you?
Oh, yeah. We're doing I'm doing a few little charity events for the Sheffield Children's Hospital. The first one, which is next Monday, is a karting challenge. So it's called Beta Blade. I've got, there's 10 ex-Blades competing. Brian Dean, Agana, Chris Morgan, Tongi, Paddy, Marcus Bent's coming up from London, Shane Nicholson, George Santos. Who else?
Nick's thinking the same thing as me. It's like, Benty's going to show up, is he?
He'll be there. But it's, it's £50 charity, donating to the charity. All goes to charity. Stratstone are supporting it, so that's it. The entry fee would normally be £45. That's waived. There's some great prizes, Porsche experience at Silverstone, signed shirt. Plus, you get to speak to Brian. For me, I'll pay for it myself because you're with Brian Dean. You're with Tony Agana.
And maybe Marcus Bent.
And Marcus, so have a go at Marcus. I was with him at Brentford. I lived in his flat at Kellam Island when I first moved up. Marcus is a wonderful person, and he loves the Blades. So stop picking on him, Al. Have you been at the Woodball tonight, Al?
Nick, am I allowed to say why?
Yes, go for it.
All right, we arranged to do an interview with Marcus Bent. Not once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4 times, 5 times. He let us down on the day.
Yeah, but
it's kids and pets.
That was it.
Yeah. Kids and pets. Just to be a quick text. Kids and pets. All right, Marcus, don't want to do it, mate. It's Jack Robinson all over again. I get it.
Jack Robinson. Big fan.
It's a big thing. Obviously, now I'm doing the radio and SU. It's you guys. I've never done anything media in my life. I shy away from it. First one with you talking about, this and that, and
get the job on SUTV, not us.
I'm paying them. I just want to be there, getting the free ticket. No, it's wonderful. I've been a little bit critical because my problem is I've got two boys who are massive blades, and when I'm watching these players who are signed as Premier League players. So I never got to play in the Premiership. So I'm there to think, well, I know what I could do. I expect to see all these players doing what I couldn't. So I want to see you control the ball more consistently at better level. I want you to work harder. I want you to make better decisions. So that's what I'm looking at. And it's become apparent they're not all playing at Premiership level anymore. And I have to give a little bit of slack in that. Okay, well, they're not. There's a reason they've come down, and they were incredible players 2 years ago and performing at an incredible level, and they were brilliant then. But you've got to rein back your expectations and what you're actually judging on, and I found it hard. And God, what I would have been like watching my own matches, getting, I would have been killing myself the way I'm killing some of these players who are really good. But I think this is really, really giving me some optimism now, because we needed a little kickstart. Whether they're feeling sorry for them, I don't know, but we needed energy in the middle of the park. And some of the teams I've seen you guys put out, the formation and the players, Berger at the top of the triangle, on paper, we walked the league. So hopefully people energise it now.
So who's disappointed you the most this season, Sabs?
I'm not naming names.
No, that's not like you.
No, I'm not. No, because there's people who I know, if they did what we know they can do. Like, there's a lot of people who are critical of Ollie Burke. I saw him play against Bournemouth once. I think it was last season. He was incredible. Just sheer pace and endeavour, not skills and trickery. Just what, for me, Sheffield United's core is its enthusiasm, its tenacity, hard work. He had that, and I was excited the other night when he started up front in the cup against a very weak Derby team. I'm thinking, okay, this is it. Stake your claim, 2 or 3. Just run them into the floor, because you're an athlete. At worst case scenario, when he plays, the other team should come off, heart attacks. They shouldn't be shattered. But I don't know. I think maybe he needs maybe the expectation from the fans is now weighing on his shoulders, because he's not the player I know the ability he's got should be. He should be.
I agree.
And it's just frustrating. I just find it really frustrating, because I know he's good. I know poor Brewster. I was upset Brewster scored a goal, and then he was played left midfield. So any glimpse of confidence, or just to get his eye in with more shots and build went.
Well, it's a confidence game, and actually we're hearing rumours, 2 rumours with Ollie Burke. Middlesbrough's one. Blackburn Rovers apparently opened talks with Sheffield United to sign Ollie Burke on loan. It looks today, Sabs, like it's going to be loans in and loans out. Also, Regan Slater, Hull City. Regan Slater, of course, played there before. A deadline day loan to Hull, apparently collapsing. Who knows if that will actually be rekindled, but they're running out of time. We've just got under an hour left, and also rumours about Daniel Jebbison going on loan to Burton Albion. So we'll have to see if any of those come off. Sabs, before we let you go, can you give us out the key details for anyone that wants to support your karting event and all the other charity work you're doing for the Children's Hospital, please?
If you can go on my Facebook page, there's Sabs charity events, a little subsection, or go on the Children's Hospital website, and there's a link. It's £50. You click on it, and talk to Brian off the track, smash him on the track, let me win. Talk to them. These people are going to be there all evening with you. It's from 6:30 till 10 o'clock. It's going to be a good evening. There's going to be more events. You can get a signed shirt from all the people who compete that night. It should be good. And it's for our Sheffield Children's Hospital. That's what it's not for me. I'd love it for me being a Nigerian to try and get a few funds from the no. It's all for our children's hospital.
Absolutely. And you're new to Twitter as well, aren't you, Sabs?
It's catching on, this thing. It's Twitter is gonna do okay. It's not bad, and it's brilliant watching all the stuff that's going on. There's so many people doing so much for Sheffield, and I'm just glad to have found Twitter.
Yeah, this internet fad, it's not going to blow over. Carla Saba, as always, thank you so much. When we're beating the pigs, it's not Shearer or Giggs, it's a Saba.
Thank you. See you guys.
See you, Sabs.
It's great getting Sabs on. All right, let's just quickly recap where we are. If you have just joined us, Morgan Gibbs-White, it is a season-long loan from Wolverhampton Wanderers. We know that one is happening. We've spoken about Alex Collado, a winger from Barcelona's B team. It's looking like he initially was hesitant about a move, but apparently now wants to join Sheffield United. It will be a loan with no option to buy. It'd be very unlikely that Barcelona would want to sell such an exciting left-footed right winger who can play on both flanks. Also, if you're wondering about the loans, under 21 players who are on loan to a championship club are counted towards the 25-player limit for the purpose of squad list regulations. A maximum of 5 loan players can be included on an 18-man team sheet for any match. Should a team bring in an emergency goalkeeper, this is reduced to 4 players. Overseas loans are regarded as full transfers, so not limited. I understand that to be the case. Of course, if I've got any of that wrong and there's any loan experts, please do shout at me in the comments. And do join us as members. You can hit join, and that helps support the channel. And also, we do have the members listed below.
Absolutely. Well, what we'll do is we'll add Jim Phipps to that as well after this stream. And if you want to be added to that list, all you need to do is become a member. Just click the join button next to the subscribe button. So shall we bring some more people in, Hal?
Do it.
Who am I bringing in?
Oh, I'm going to choose for you. I'm going to choose because I wanted to see the beard in the flesh. Alec Hawley, it's an absolute pleasure to welcome you to the Sheffield United Way, professional writer who prepares Sheffield United previews with expert opposition analysis. How are you, sir? We can't hear you, Alec. Why can't we hear you?
Shall we drop Alec out and revisit afterwards?
Alec, if you get it working, drop us a little thumbs up and we'll bring you back in, all right? Unfortunately, we can't hear Alec. What I think he was going to say was he's going to join as a member, but he's going to go for the gold option and just support the channel more that way. Also, just some other information in case, as I say, you have just joined us. Robin Olsen, 31-year-old goalkeeper, Sweden international. We are set to sign him from Roma and made the bulk of his appearances at Malmo, his hometown, and Copenhagen. He played 7 games on loan at Everton. Olsen left Everton in June 2021 at the end of his loan spell. Apparently, he was disappointed that he'd not been played more, and he would arrive from Roma in Syria. Olsen's parents are Danish. He used to be holder of a Danish passport, but now he's definitely said no to that because he's got 48 caps for Sweden. He's made, in his career, 267 appearances, conceded 299 goals with 96 clean sheets. And if you don't regularly look at goalkeeper stats, that is, I would say, exceptional.
Jono.
Boys.
Look at that.
And we can hear him. We can hear him.
I thought I'd dig it out. I'll dig it out.
That is an absolute classic shirt. Jono,
Old school.
what have you made of transfer deadline day, Jono?
I'm a lot happier than I was 48 hours ago, fair to say. I was getting a bit panicky, but yeah, I'm pleased. Obviously, a couple more still in the pipeline, but as long as they go off as we were expecting, I think it will be a decent end to the window. Just frustrating it took so long to get everything through, but I think that's the market we're in at the moment, isn't it? So, yeah.
Really tough market, Nick. We were talking about that, weren't we, just the other day, and it looks like it's going to be, Nick, 5 loans?
Yeah, it looks like that. I was talking to my dad about this before this stream, and you always worry as a kind of bringing in loan signings because you don't know whether they're going to be trying really hard to kind of go back to their parent club or not trying hard enough in case they get injured and they want to go back, or if they actually want to get signed up. So looking at the loan signings that we brought in, Conor Hourihane, obviously, or Hourihane, should we say. That's how it's said, apparently. He's looking like he could be one of those players that we end up signing afterwards. What do you reckon to him, Jono? Because we haven't touched on Conor Hourihane yet.
I think he's a great signing. He's someone that, as soon as the summer window opened, I was looking to hope that he'd be the sort of player we bring in. As you said, yes, it's only a loan, but he's out of contract at the end of it, so he's surely, you can hope, he's going to be trying to impress, so he can either join us or, if for whatever reason not interested, still put himself in the window. Obviously, living in Birmingham, next door neighbour's a big Villa fan. He's gutted that he's gone. That they like him a lot. They like him a lot. So yeah, I'm pleased with him. I think that'll be a good signing.
Yeah, Conor Hourihane. I mean, he's 30 years old, Irish international. We know his history. We've done a video on him. We've had a look at how good he is. His contract at Villa expires, Jono, 30th of June 2022. Do you think that he's someone that we'll be seeing then for a lot longer than a loan spell?
I think if it all goes to plan, then why not? You know, as long as he performs like I think he can, then I'd say, yeah, why not make it permanent if he delivers? No. And like Nick said, that, you know, the concerns about loans as well. Just before I come on, I watched the interview with Gibbs-White. He looks really up for it. He doesn't look like someone that's going just to pick up a wage packet and kind of play a couple of games here and there. He looks really keen. So far, the ones that are coming in on loan, I think are giving the right impression that they're here for the right reasons.
Absolutely. The smile on his face just kind of lit up the room when he was talking about playing for Sheffield United. Really, really exciting player. Have you watched any of, I'm going to say it again, Collado on YouTube or anything, see what he's like? Because, yeah, he's another really exciting one too.
I think I've watched about a 5-minute YouTube clip. If YouTube is anything as good as what he actually is, then, yeah, we're in for a treat. I did watch Michael Higgins.
He's not in for a treat in the Championship because he will get kicked about.
Yeah, I was going to say he's one that it will be interesting how he is when he comes on loan. You know how he takes to it. I think he's probably the biggest risk out of all of them for a few factors. But yeah, if we can have half the player that he looks like on YouTube, then yeah, it could be exciting. Could be exciting.
Agreed. Jono, thank you very much for joining us. We will leave you to your wind turbine in your tunnel. Thank you. Have a wonderful evening. Your shirt is magnificent, sir.
Take it easy. See you later.
Cheers, mate.
Jono, you can see regularly on Fans React. Do subscribe to the channel at Sheffield United Way on YouTube. We're going to give Alec another go. Alec, say some words.
Hey.
Oh,
yes.
Thank God for that.
It works. Now, Alec, for those that aren't familiar with his work, do give him a follow on Twitter. I'll let Alec give the handle, but he's a writer who prepares previews. And really, Alec, you go into detail on opposition expert analysis.
Yeah, I certainly try to. When I can, I try and contact fans of the opposition club to get kind of the inside track and, yeah, just watch a bit of how they play, see what they're trying to do, see what, you know, how we might measure up, see, you know, where we might be able to take advantage of them, where we should fear them, who their star man is, that sort of thing.
I'm just laughing at that comment.
There's lots of Mick Foley related comments, isn't there?
There's a lot of beard action going on this stream. Alec, of the transfers, we believe 5 loans in total. Ben Davis, Conor Hourihane, help me, Nick, Robert Olsen, Collado, Morgan Gibbs-White.
Yeah, well done.
Right. Alec, of those, who are you most excited about, please?
I mean, I think Ben Davis was huge in that it fills that 𝐍𝐸𝐷-shaped hole, which has sort of been, you know, shipping goals ever since he had that few games at the start of the last Premier League season, and then, you know, and wasn't really up to speed. You know, you could kind of tell he wasn't quite on it, and then we didn't see him again. So just having someone, you know, we should have a solid back 3 now. If we go back 3, let's say we go back 3 for clarity's sake, of, you know, Egan, Basham, Davies, that feels like a solid, hopefully ever-present thing that we can just roll with through the season. In terms of actual, like, attacking players, I think the one I'm really excited about and the one I've heard stuff about and the one that feels kind of proven at this level is Morgan Gibbs-White to me, and it feels like, from everything I've heard, that he's kind of exactly what we're missing in terms of someone to try things, someone to kickstart the offence, someone who's going to create chances for our forwards who haven't had much service either in the last Premier League season or so far during, these few games of the Championship season. So yeah, I think those two really stick out to me. And obviously, Collado is a complete wild card. Who knows what he's going to bring? But there has to be a reason Barcelona have signed him, so he must be pretty talented. And he sounds like they just about managed to persuade him to come here and show what he can do.
Yeah, that's not, is it, the best ringing endorsement when a player needs persuading to get out the door? But yeah, I have to agree with absolutely everything you've said there. Of course, it's transfer deadline day. We've reported on our Twitter account what we believe is going to happen, haven't we, Nick? But things can change.
Yeah, absolutely. We've heard a lot of different things from a lot of different sources, or sources close to the club before, and they've not happened in the end. So you never know. There's still two that need to come through the door, and you never know. They might change at the last minute, like you said, and then we might end up bringing somebody else in. But I would like to go back to the back four, back five conundrum with Alec. What do you think we're going to go for, and what would you like to see us kind of cement in? Because we brought in a lot of midfielders, so. Like 5 defenders, are we really going to carry on playing that?
I think it's going to depend on the opposition. I think what Slav really wants is flexibility. I think that's kind of what he's been saying all the way through. He doesn't want the option of only having to play one formation. There might be games against offsides where we need 5 defenders, 5 defenders in a back 3, back 5 is always a bit. It's about how far do you push the wing backs forward, etc., etc. These systems can shift pretty easily depending on the flexibility of the players involved. But yeah, and there might be some games where we want a back 4 and then we want 5 midfielders to really monopolize possession. So yeah, I think it's going to be about flexibility, and I think it's going to be about choosing the formation kind of based on the opposition, based on what they want to do, based on are we going to need to be really strong defensively, are we going to have loads of the ball and really need to create, so those sort of decisions.
Before we let you go, we've got a lot of people coming in now.
Thinking that, Nick, yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to know what your starting 11 is as of right now, Alec.
It's difficult when it's players you've kind of never seen, isn't it? I think I would go with a 3-5-2, just because it's kind of what we used to playing. I think obviously. Presumably Olsen in goal if he comes in. Otherwise, I go with Fotheringham. Then you have what we think is our settled back 3. You have Egan, Basham, Davies, and then I think I go Baldock on the right and Norrington Davis on the left. Of that, back 5, and then as a 3, I probably have Berger, Nord, and I think probably Gibbs-White from everything that I've heard. And then I think, ahead of them, I would still go with McBurney and Brewster. If we can get service to them, I think they'll score. I think they're proven at this level, and I think we spent £20 million on each of them. So we need to give them a run of games. So we need them to form partnership, and I think that's going to be getting that working is our ticket to success this season.
Alec Hawley, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Now, we do need to talk about 𝐼𝐚𝐽𝐝. I think that's how you say it, name. Nick,
no idea. I've been saying it about 3 or 4 different ways today.
𝐼𝐚𝐽𝐝, 23, a right winger who could play on the left, could play up front. He's from the Ivory Coast. It doesn't look like it's going to happen, which is a shame because he's a man who can get assists, who can get goals, and someone I was really hoping would be an addition for the Blades. Looks like that's off. Sounds like it could be work permit visa issues, which is a surprise. I don't pretend to understand, Nick, the ins and outs of the new system. I do blame Brexit, but I don't understand it. It's all very confusing. So one thing that I'm always relaxed in the presence of is handsome Luke, who is the man behind our fan cams. Last time you were on here, Luke, you said something that made everyone hate you.
Yeah, so I'm glad that you've invited me back, and even more stupidly given me a camera and put me in front of loads of fans in person.
Nick, talk to us about
the channel after last time.
Nick, we're not going to remind people what you said. You'll have to go back and look at the fans forum. Nick, tell everyone about the fan cams, please, mate.
Okay, so obviously we've got Luke in front of the camera, as he's just said. The first video went absolutely crazy. Everyone's loved it, except for Luton fans. I think that's Hal's fault, actually. But what we've done is, so we're going to put the kind of amalgamation of all the videos, the best parts of all the videos on the main channel, and then all the other videos, all the interviews, uncensored, unedited, are all going to go on a different channel. And I'm going to bring it up and I'm going to pop it in the comments, and I'm going to let Luke talk about the fan cams for a little bit.
Yeah, so by the way, notice how far I stayed away from those Luton comments at the time. I could see the Twitter comments come in already. A bit of foresight from me. Yeah, no, it's just a way for us. At the end of the day, we all spend a lot of money to go to games. Those of us that go, and it's a way to sort of empower all of us who spend that money to have a say on the games, whether it be good or bad. It's not a case of trying to commercialize it. It's purely a way of us having a voice. It's completely free, as we had a bit of a debacle on Twitter. All of the content is free, and it's just a brilliant way for us to sort of share the experiences, the painful experiences of being a Blade together.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good thing. It's not for commercial purposes because it doesn't make any money. It is just for fans to share their opinions. So that's very well put, Luke. I can't add anything to that. Instead, I will say to you, while we're talking about possible incomings, I want your opinion on outgoings. Ollie Burke, Regan Slater, Daniel Jebbison. Now it sounds like Regan Slater isn't going to get the move that I think he needs because he needs first team football. But your thoughts on those three?
Yeah, I see Regan Slater sort of, not Regan Slater to be fair, but his family definitely agitating for moves because you want your family to be playing football, don't you? And I think a lot of Blades have called for Regan Slater to be getting a bit of game time, especially with our tremendous start to the season. So, look, if he does stay, I think you've got to give him a go. However, you look at the midfield, the signings that we've made now, it's going to be tricky, isn't it? One man I don't want to see go out, and I understand the premise behind it. �𝐸𝐽𝐻 saying, look, we'll take a fee basically if it's something we can't turn down for Jebbison. But he's the future of our club, and essentially what we're saying is, do we risk trying to go up in the next 1 or 2 seasons to someone who could be a future star at the Lane for God knows how many years, and you start thinking about players like Billy Sharp, how high regard we keep them in. We want to be trying to keep older players like Jebbison, and I can't believe it. My final saying on Ollie Burke is, I can't believe I'm about to say it. I'm letting Kev down, but we might have an argument to keep him because I feel like if we get Collado in, we've failed with this other winger. It's giving me Ricky Holmes vibes if we're signing Collado as one winger. We need other players who have played on the wing, and much as he's speedboat no driver into Burke, he has played on the wing. And he knows those positions.
Absolutely. If we can get him firing, Nick, I know you're probably going to disagree with me here. I think Ollie Burke, there's a player in there, and we just haven't seen it yet. And I'd hate for another team to benefit from that. What if we can get him firing? Because if we can, it's a guy that once cost £15 million, and we're just going to let him go for free.
I'd admit, I've never once said that I don't think there's a player in there. I think there is a player in there, but it's going to take one hell of a person to get that out of him. Talking about others that could play on the wing, Bogle possibly play on the wing. Have we got any other players that could play on the wing?
Well, but Bogle, he would play on the right wing, wouldn't he? And this Collado lad, apparently he's a right winger. So,
but he's left-footed though, so he could play on either wing. To be fair,
good research, that lads.
It's very true. It's very true. One thing I don't want to see is, because we've spent so much money on Brewster, I know he's played him out on the left before. I think he's obviously not got off to the goal scoring start we all want him to, but the lad's a goal scorer. He is. I know he's not looking like it for us, but we saw it for Swansea. He's a confidence player. It's been a real tough mentality, I think, for everybody. I want to see him starting up front. I don't want to see him pushed out wide.
Just like you were saying about Burke as well, we don't want to see us sell Brewster and then him go and smash loads of goals in for someone else. Same with Ollie McBurney as well. They've all had good seasons in the Championship. So we don't want to see them go away and do it elsewhere. It can't happen because that would just be the Sheffield United way, that.
Oh, well. Nice. Yeah, well, like Saabs is saying, though, you've got... You don't become a bad player overnight, It's definitely mentality based, and having these fresh faces, we've seen it countless times. We're all big football fans. Those faces can kick people back into gear, and suddenly the environment's so much more positive, and you start seeing what players can actually do.
I agree. If you see Luke outside beautiful downtown Bramall Lane, if you see him at away games, please do go and speak to him. He is a Blade, 100% Blade. He wasn't wearing a Blade shirt at Luton. Neither was I.
Oh.
Luke, are you going to explain why you weren't?
Yeah, so as I was rightful to stay away from these dodgy Luton Town comments, one of my very good friends who I was down there with is a Luton fan. So because of that, I was sort of around a lot of Luton fans, and I did want to make it back to Yorkshire alive. So I wasn't in any Blades attire. I will be wearing Blade stuff in the future. I'll be tweeting out where I'm going to try and be in different places if we're away at home, so fans can come and find me. Please come and chat to me. I'm like the most approachable guy ever, and we'll get some great stuff together, and yeah, up the Blades, man.
Do you want to just plug your Twitter, Luke, so everyone knows where to find you?
At 𝐿𝐴𝐵𝐸. It'll be we've been all over it on the Sheffield United Way Twitter as well, but yeah, at 𝐿𝐴𝐵𝐸. Come and find me. We'll make some magic together, and hopefully the Blades will be winning some games.
Oh, we'll make some magic together.
Yeah,
make sure you say that on the next video.
Don't say that. I just dislike that.
Oh, come on. After big fan. Come on.
Right, Luke, go away. Thank you very much. He's brilliant. He's great. We need to get him on more often. I think we will. He'll be more famous than us in 6 months. Quick little read. Manscaped are sponsoring this video. They are the leaders in men's grooming. They've done it again, Nick. They've done it again. They've just launched their 4th generation performance package. Included in there is the new Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer. Join the 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with the new Performance Package 4.0 by going to manscaped.com for 20% off and free shipping with the code TSUW, which stands for
the Sheffield United Way. And it's worldwide shipping as well. Anywhere you are in the world, free.
Speaking of worldwide, welcome Chad Jarvis, who is not in Sheffield. Chad Jarvis is from the Red Half of Sheffield podcast, which is, as he says, 2 Yanks talking about the Blades. So, Chad, how's it going?
Oh, not too bad. Enjoying life. Trying to catch up on everything that we've done today. It seems like we've had a lot of transfers coming in, and based on our last pod, I didn't think we were going to get any signings because I figured we were closer to League One than we were to any chance of the championship playoffs this year.
Yeah. So, what do you think about the transfers that have come in then, Chad?
Morgan Gibbs-White, that was a little bit of a shock. Glad to see we are bolstering our midfield here, and we're not just going to play with Fleck and Norwood every single game as I tear them apart every single podcast we do because I don't know what happened to them. But yeah, I'm glad to see we're bolstering the midfield, and from what I've heard of this kid from Barcelona, he seems, even though he plays for Barcelona B, because people are already starting to slag him off, saying, oh, he plays for Barcelona B, blah, blah, blah. It's the equivalent to League One. So hopefully we can bring him in. I'm still hoping we can get a goalkeeper within, what do we got, about a half hour left? I don't know. League One West, is he going to do it? It doesn't look like we're going to get one over the line.
Well, it's 32 minutes left. But Hal, there is a little bit more after that to get the deal over the line, isn't there?
Yeah, there could be sort of extenuating circumstances is a very good way of putting it. If the paperwork is submitted before that deadline, that's all cool. It's all kosher. It's all fine. We could then be, rather annoying for us, still holding on after 11, going into midnight, potentially going into tomorrow morning UK time, and not actually having everything finalised, even though Nick and I have riskily stuck our necks out and said that Olsen and Collado are 100% signing.
I don't think you said 100% until you just said it then.
I've just said it because one thing I've learned after the Luton debacle, Nick, is I'm not going to back down. I'm going to double down on mistakes I make.
Well, you've definitely got to, haven't you?
I was listening to Red Half of Sheffield today, Chad, and having a little go at the impression of playoffs? We'll be lucky just to win a game.
Oh, yeah, that's Noah on the other half. Yeah, we were going back and forth because the funny thing is we have a text group between us on match days, and at the end of every single match, I'm like, sell them all, get rid of them all, shred all their contracts, sack 𝐿𝐴𝐵𝐸, he needs to go. We're going down. we're not going to win a game. Why can't we? Why are we the only one team in the entire league with only 1 goal scored? Everybody else is on 4. So it's so frustrating, guys. I mean, it's like a mirror image of last year, and we're only 5 games in. It's so frustrating.
Yeah, you've done well. You've not sworn either, which if anyone listens to the Red Half of Sheffield, there's 1 or 2 on there.
Oh, yeah. That I tend to hold it together, but it's just I love the club so much, and who would have thought we would have been here 2 years ago?
Oh, don't.
We were in the we were
I'm in such a great position, Chad. People are asking in the chat, for those that haven't obviously heard your podcast and do subscribe to the Red Half of Sheffield, why are you a Sheffield United fan?
Well, it starts based on I became a football fan about the mid 2000s, and I was going through college, and over here noon kickoffs are 7 o'clock in the morning. So I'm doing homework on Saturdays and Sundays. So they had the Premier League on over here. So I started following it, and I was like, I'm not going to get into this. And slowly but surely I got into it. And as of every American fan over here that doesn't root for a top 6 team, I started to follow Chelsea. And so I followed them through the glory days and everything like that. And then I started to see that it was all a money ploy. And their shirt prices kept going up and up and up. And then they signed Pulisic. And the minute they signed Pulisic, I said, bye, I'm gone. You're just trying to capture the American market over here. Mm-hmm. And your shirts now cost 135 pounds. So I'm not for that. And since I've started my alliance with Chelsea, or when I started rooting for Chelsea, I also started following the EFL and playing it a lot through FIFA. I used to play at Southend United. I'd get transferred out, and they'd send me on loan to Southend United. So I started following all these teams. And Sheffield United was kind of one of those teams that were just like a random team. And then they appointed Chris Wilder.
I can't help you here, Chad, by the way, when this is finished. You're on your own, buddy.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna get slaughtered for this. But so I pay attention, and I see Chris Wilder gets appointed, and I was like, okay, it's a boyhood club. He's blue collar like I am. And I was like, okay, I'm going to give him a follow. And so I started following him up through League One. And I was like, okay, all right, they're in the championship. Let's see what we can do. And then they went up through the championship, and I was like, usually a team coming up through League One, they should spend some time in the championship. And Wilder's got them banging on the door of the Premier League, and surely they got promoted to the Premier League. I was like, I watched that season they got promoted, and I was like, wow, this is an impressive team. I like how they play. I mean, attacking football, the overlapping wing backs, and it was funny over here when I started following United. They everybody was like, who is Sheffield United? They're like, we've never heard of them. I said, just wait. And then we took the Premier League by storm the first season, and they're like, you're just a bandwagon fan. You're just a bandwagon fan. I said, nope. I'm done with all these bandwagon American fans over here following the top 6 team. Let's go for a ride on the Sheffield United wagon, and boy, has it been a ride! In short 4 years.
A ride. So the short version of that is Chad's always been a blade. Chad, thank you very much for joining us. Go check out the Red Half of Sheffield. We really appreciate it, buddy. I love listening to you.
Cool. Appreciate it, guys.
Thanks, Chad.
Nick, what's better than 1 Yank?
2 Yanks, 3 Yanks.
Here we go.
Yanks are here.
We have Steve and Robert from Fans React. We only send out one rule when we invite you on, which is make sure if you are on your phone that you have it landscaped. That's the only rule.
Very close. Oh,
okay. Don't worry, Steve. It's absolutely fine like that. Great to have you both on. Robert with a lovely collection of shirts.
This one's new.
What is that?
FC Cincinnati. They're the local team for me, just down the road in Ohio. So got to support it since I just got it this week, and I'm going to my first game on Saturday.
Excellent. All right. Well,
but like the Blades, they cannot win this year. They're second from the bottom in the Eastern Conference in the MLS. So I'm used to it. Just here for the.
You know how to pick your teams, don't you, Robert?
Oh yeah, Cleveland Browns were 0-16 and 1-15 the first 2 years I was following them. Yeah, it's a blast. So
it's his fault, Hal. It's his fault.
It's not his fault. He's been a Blade longer. He joined the Blades ride back in League One. So we've spoken about Anthony Lozano. We don't believe that striker is going to happen. Predrag Rajkovic, a 25-year-old 6'2" goalkeeper from Stade de Reims in League One. That is how you say it. He's Serbian, 20 caps for his nation. We also don't think that one's going to happen. Also looking unlikely that we will sign Jan Karamo because of work permit issues, which I'm very confused by. He's played for Inter Milan. He's played for Parma and Bordeaux, amongst others. Adeline Gediora, Steve, the worst kept secret at Bramall Lane. He's even been photographed. He's not really on trial, we understand. I mean, you think he's going to be signed today?
I think he's the fullback option. And thank you, Natalie and Jim, for having us on the show. I think our 35-year-old friend from Algeria is the fullback option. And he may be unveiled as the, oh, look what we got. Look what we got on transfer deadline day, Blades. It's a 35-year-old defensive midfielder. So, I mean, I think he's probably as good as in. I don't think anybody's covered themselves in glory this year, so we need all the cover we can get. So I expect him to be in the door, raising the age of our already slightly old squad. But if Slav trusts him, then I think in the meantime we have to trust him as well.
Yeah, I think at one point we thought he was going to be the only one through the door. So thank God we've got at least a couple in. So we're just hoping on these last two because, time's ticking.
Time is ticking. Ollie Burke, we're hearing from Shoreham View, a very reliable source. That deal is off. We will wait and see, of course. Who knows? Ollie Burke might end up turning it around. And as Luke said, he might end up winning Player of the Season or something like that. You just never know. Stranger Things is a program on Netflix.
You said there's a player in there, and I agree. Unfortunately, the player in there is Ollie Burke. And we've seen him.
All right, Steve. I mean, I think I wasn't going to say. I'm self-editing, Nick. I've got better at it. I'm growing. I'm not going to say what I was about to say. Robert,
was it about Luton by any chance?
It was. Yes. Yeah. Robert, let's jump to you. So it does look like it's gone quiet, but we're expecting deals to get done. Tell me how confident you are of Robin Olsen, the 31-year-old goalkeeper from Sweden, over the line, and Alex Collado.
I'm not even going to try. So, but yeah, I am personally confident and hopeful that those two can get in by the end of the transfer deadline here today. I think Olsen, we saw him in the Euros. He had a good time with Sweden, and if he's not getting club playing time at Roma, we're the place that needs a goalkeeper. And yes, Wes Fotheringham can be an option for us. We can survive the year or maybe even till January with him in between the sticks. But I think Robin Olsen is a really good option for us. And if he sees that, then I'm super hopeful that he can make the turnover here. As for our friend from Barcelona, I think it's super ambitious of us going after a player of that caliber. And if he does sign on loan, I think that's it. Like we've got this turnaround complete as far as transfers are concerned, and I can see us rising up the table here after the international break. But fingers crossed those get finalized soon because I think they're both good signings for us.
My worry with these, Steve, is the fact that both we've heard on Twitter were trying to look for better options than Sheffield United, both Olsen and the Barcelona lad, and neither of them have gone through yet. Is that a worry for you?
I'm worried, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what else should we expect on transfer deadline day than somebody else to come fish in our pond at the last minute, and then we're left with nothing in terms of a backup except for the aforementioned 35-year-old defensive midfielder from Algeria. And I think even if we do get it across the line, I think, Nick, you were saying earlier, maybe it was Hal, that how much do they really want to be here? What's their performance going to look like? And that's, to be frank, that's Slav's job. That's if they come, he's got to get the most out of them. He's got to get a tune out of them. And for a lad like Gallardo, who's 22 years old, I can only imagine how hard it is to crack the Barcelona squad. So he's got to think of himself as being in the shop window with every single match he plays, wherever he ends up. But yeah, with every minute that passes, and I'm seeing stuff on Twitter about 2-hour extensions if the paperwork's in before 11.
It's true.
And that would be the most Sheffield United thing ever, to go up to your 2-hour extension deadline. But so I'll ask a question to both of you. If we don't get Olsen and if we don't get Collado, is this window a success, a failure, or somewhere in between?
Nick?
I think it's somewhere in between. I think a lot of us thought originally that we weren't going to get anyone, or like we said earlier, just the 35-year-old Algerian. But getting Conor Hourihane, I need to keep saying it. And also getting Morgan Gibbs-White is a game changer. Don't care what anyone says. As long as he doesn't get injured like he did for Swansea, he is a game changer. Hourihane knows this league inside and out too. So I think it's in the middle. I'd like to see at least one more attacking option because, all it takes is one of them not to hit the ground running, or like I say, a bit of a niggly injury or something, and then we're back stuck with the same players that can't create a sausage.
Yeah, I tell you what, I think it's quite funny that we've been on this long, Nick, and during this time nothing's happened, which is what we did speculate was the worst thing that could possibly happen, because we might be literally coming off air and that's when it does happen. That's what we don't want. We understand, if you are just joining us, the news that 𝐼𝐚𝐽𝐞𝐝 will not be signing with Sheffield United due to work permit issues. However, we expect goalkeeper Robin Olsen to sign from AS Roma and the extremely exciting Barcelona right winger Alex Collado to sign both on loan. We will see if that happens. While you are watching this, please don't forget to hit like. We really, really want you to do that to help as well with subscribing. We are going to welcome in another guest, so we will say to Steve and Robert, thank you so much for joining us.
Cheers, boys.
Of course.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Our next guest did join us on here earlier in the chat and actually helped us with that Ollie Burke news. A deal for Ollie Burke to join Blackburn Rovers is not possible before the deadline, but it is possible to get Johnny from the Shoreham View on. Johnny, you and I enjoyed a cuddle on the staircase at Kenilworth Road. Out of 10, how would you rate that cuddle?
It was definitely a 10 out of 10 cuddle. How can I not cuddle you? I'm a big fan.
Does he remember that cuddle? That's my question.
Look, it was a 10 out of 10 cuddle. I'm a massive fan of Hal. Like he's a big, massive fan of Jack Robinson, apparently, as well. So
I am. By the way, if Jackie Longthrow is watching, at no point do I want it to seem like anything other than I am a fan. I just wish he'd spoken to us. It would have been lovely. We'd like to have got him on the channel. I should have asked for a photograph, but I didn't because I'm not 12. So, Johnny, for you, this transfer window, are you panicking a little bit like we are?
What is it? 18 minutes to go. I don't know. Obviously, with 𝐼𝐚𝐽𝐽𝐝, whatever his name is, not coming in now. I'm a little worried. Obviously, we've got Alex Collado coming from Barcelona B. I really want that one to happen. And then we've got one of Olsen twins coming in. I think if he comes in, it could be a good window. It could be.
It would be a great window.
At the minute, it's a bit meh, isn't it? We've reinforced. We've got some good players in, but still no real wingers. Apart from told Oliver, there is a player in there. I just don't want to see him ever again, please.
Really? So you're not accepting what we've suggested earlier?
No, I think the advertising boards are cacking the pants at the prospect of Ollie Berg staying, to be honest. I don't know. This has a potential to be a brilliant deadline day. The best one we've seen in a long time. But with Sheffield United, when do we get a good deadline day? It's not happening, is it?
We get famously bad deadline days. I don't want to go back over some of them because it's still too soon. I do want to quickly mention, and Johnny, you won't mind me doing this because you've done it yourself. We want to mention NordVPN. So would you like to see your favourite movies, TV shows, and in our case, football, wherever you are in the world? It's extremely annoying if you can't watch a blocked out game in your location. And as Nick and I and Johnny are three men who like to view our sport, whether it's football, cricket, rugby, etc., anywhere across the globe, the only way to make sure we will never be hit by the screen of death again, that black screen of blocked out, is by using a VPN, which is a virtual private network. We use our favourite VPN, NordVPN. It's fast and secure service, significantly boosting online privacy and security. You won't have to worry about unsecure websites, Johnny, apps, or Wi-Fi networks. It's easy to install and even easier to use. Connect with just one click. or set up Auto Connect. You'll get 72% off a 2-year plan plus 3 additional months absolutely free. Go to nordvpn.com/TSUW, or you can just see the thing on the screen.
I reckon that they've used NordVPN, on the fax machine this year, and that's why we've managed to get, 2 signings through.
Good,
I think that's been the issue, hasn't it? We've bought a surge protector for the fax machine, got it all nice up and working, and then nobody wants to come. There's rumours that they've had to push that Alex Collado fruit door in there.
You obviously remember, like I do, both chaps, Kyle Hutton, I think it was, and John Fleck from Rangers, and the real reason was the fax machine let us down. We could have had many more years of John Fleck.
I know, whatever happened to him?
Whatever happened to him, I think. It's strange, that one. So John Fleck, maybe it would have been a totally different career for John Fleck. Who knows?
Yeah.
It's just one
Maybe
of those
he'd still
things.
be playing well now. That'd be a miracle, wouldn't it?
He'll get back there. He will get back there. I have a question for you. Which was longer? Johnny, this was one for you. The difference between Phil Jagielka's last Sheffield United game and re-signing, or the difference between Cristiano Ronaldo's last Manchester United game and re-signing?
Jags.
So Jags, that's 4,481 days. And Cristiano Ronaldo, 4,491 days. Yes, 10 days in it. So Wigan for Jags, the 13th of the 5th, 07.
Oh, let's not talk about Wigan, Hal.
We're trying to stay positive. We're trying to stay positive, and you bring up Wigan. Come on, Al. There'll be no more cuddles for you if you carry on like this.
I want to thank Statsman Adam for throwing me under the bus yet again with that one. So, yeah, well done. You got that wrong. Let's get back onto transfers. Big Willie Caballero, a goalkeeper that we've been rumoured to be signing. Johnny, do you think there's any chance that we sign the 39-year-old right-footed 6'1" goalkeeper from Argentina?
Any side can always improve with a Big Willie in it. And I just think that if we're going to sign any goalkeeper, it's got to be one of the Olsen twins. I think that Caballero would be a last-minute ditch attempt if we fail to sign him. I think that's what he is. He's on the books. Yeah. He's there in the reserves, in the wings. And if we do sign one of Olsen twins, we'll turn around to Big Willie and we'll be like, you know what? We're not fancying it. Off you pop. And he'll be gone.
Not fancying that Big Willie.
Nah.
You've got nicknames for players that we haven't even signed yet.
Can I just ask a question? Where are your yellow ties?
Okay, yeah, we did actually talk, both of us, Nick, about wearing yellow, and I am wearing. Hang on.
No, stop. All right, okay. Yeah,
I'll put it in. I'll put it out now because we're really struggling, of course, because no deal's been done. If we did do Sheffield United way merch, would you be interested? Pop it in the comments.
I've made all this effort to draw on a yellow tie.
Oh, that's what that is.
That's what that is.
You've been sick.
It's like baby food.
That's what my shirt looked like after the Luton game, after watching that, to be fair. But your two now, as you're sitting here, as we're counting down the seconds, the moments, if we're going to make one out of the possible transfers, which one are you picking?
Oh, Caballero. Collado. Not Caballero, that's Willie.
What?
Collado.
Would we prefer him over a goalkeeper though? Is Wes going to last the whole season without making loads of calamitous mistakes?
If we can score 3 or 4 goals a game, one calamitous goal a game isn't too bad though, really, is it?
That is true. I'd rather see us score loads of goals than not score loads of goals.
I'd rather see us score a goal.
We've already seen one, Johnny. We've already seen
greedy.
one.
I'm greedy.
He's forgotten about that one goal.
Of course, realistically, Adeline Guediora, the Algerian international, he's 35. His game is not about pace, though. He's an intelligent holding midfielder who reads the game really well. A bit of a hothead. So if we do sign him, I'm expecting a few bookings and possibly bans. At Al Gharafa, he was widely regarded as the most consistent performer, though, and Watford fans very much appreciate him. Forest fans thought he was woeful. So if we do sign him, and I think we might, that's what we can expect. At the moment, a mixed bag of reviews.
You say pace isn't really his game. At his age, is movement really his game? I think that's an issue we've got to look at. Is we've already got a lot of static players in the team. Do we really need somebody else standing around not moving?
Well, Stuart McCall's game wasn't about pace, and he was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, but he had players around him that actually knew how to put one leg in front of the other. We don't have that at the minute.
Do you think these players that are coming in will kind of invigorate Fleck and Norwood and these sorts of players?
I'd like to think that Uran and Norwood could be something magical, until Jimmy leaves and we get John back, I think that they could be really good, or even possibly it could spur Norwood on to up his game and try and get his place back if we're putting Connor in his place. Because I think when you looked at Norwood when he first came here, he had an amazing game, albeit we lost, in League Cup against Hull. Then were Villa in the league his league debut, where he scored that amazing free kick? I can't remember. I think it was.
Yeah.
But if Connor Ollie-Bush, whatever his name is, comes in and has half the game that Ollie Norwood had on his debut, we've got a great player. And surely that's only going to inspire the other midfielders to pull the finger out if they want to play again. So we could have Connor, we could have Berge, whatever you want to call him. And then in the middle, and then in the middle, the new lad, �𝐚𝐲𝐸𝐿. You know, we could have a great midfield setup, which we were not expecting after last weekend. We were not expecting to have a decent midfield lineup come the next game.
All right, how will you feel about the grief online? I was going to say abuse. That's maybe too far. Maybe not actually. That Sheffield United's higher ups have had because of a lack of signings, and really, even the local press reporting that Slav had said, "Get some deals over the line like you promised me." I'm paraphrasing, obviously. Yeah. Would you, Johnny? And I imagine you speak for a number of fans. Would you say if they get these 5 loans over the line in 9 minutes, would you say that we actually have to say they've done a great job?
There's 3 different versions of this. I'll give the positive one first because I'm a positive guy. I do think that if we can get them over the line, we've left them a bit late, and it's very late now. But 100%, that's a good window, and I would be happy with it. Jebbo to Burton. Ooh.
Yeah, that's been confirmed by Sheffield United Twitter account.
Jebbo to Burton Albion, or Halbion as we call them here. He has joined the League One side on loan. The teenager has penned a deal with Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank's side until the end of the season. We are not going to see Daniel Jebbison lighting up beautiful downtown Bramall Lane for this entire season. I think the one thing he's lacking in his game, Johnny, is that strength side, and that'll maybe toughen him up.
Yeah, I think playing in League One is going to toughen any young player up, innit? It's going to really get him into a man's game now. No fancy passing, no flicking, no little tap-ins at the back post like at Everton, as good as that was. You don't get that in League One, do you? You get big, physical, burly blokes. If you try and get at the back post, he's going to get an elbow to the face and he's got to grow up quickly. And it could be the best thing for him.
Pop in the comments, what do you think about Jebbison going on loan? Is that something that you actually think is good for him? Or will we miss him this season because we haven't been scoring goals? So let us know in the comments what you think about that. Playing, of course, under Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, a striker of some repute. So hopefully some of that can rub off, so to speak, on Jebbison. That's with just minutes to go, Nick, all we've actually been able to report on for this entire broadcast. I've got to say, I am disappointed, mate. You must be too.
Yeah, and I made this little graphic, and I think we're going to have to do it now, seeing as something's happened. Way.
Such a lovely graphic. We've made so many things.
I won't say lovely. It's okay.
I've spent all day making welcome graphics about 18 different players.
You have?
Yeah.
Man, move as well.
Yeah.
Look at
To be fair, Johnny's do move.
Mine
all right, yours move. We've done a lot here. All right, that's just a sample. You didn't get to use any of them.
It's the Sheffield United way, isn't it? And that's a cheap plug for you there, isn't it? But every time we put any kind of effort in, Board goes, nah.
No, I'm not having that. I think actually it must be really difficult to get transfers, particularly foreign transfers, done.
Two from abroad.
Very late with, as we know, a dodgy fax machine.
Do we not get an extension like an hour more on foreign transfers?
Yeah. And that's probably the reason that why Nick and I are going to wrap it up at 11 and all the happenings are going to happen.
I can just see the breaking news graphic coming across out. The Sheffield United will be back in 5 minutes.
it will not, because my wife has to be up at 6 and she can hear every word I'm saying.
My wife.
It's a fairly small house. The Sheffield United way wages, but do help us out by joining and becoming a member, and then hopefully Nick and I can move into the same house, and then we'll save on internet.
We've not discussed that, Hal.
Well, I think it makes sense, for the long-term future.
We started with a man cuddle, and now we're talking about moving in. I think this
Johnny,
is where we've ended up, and I'm happy for you both. I really am.
Well, I was going to say, if we extended that offer to a third party, let's be honest, I smell a sitcom.
I call the Harry Potter room under the stairs.
As you can tell, we've officially run out of things to talk about. So if you are just joining us, I'm going to run through.
This is me right now.
I'm going to run through what
I have got repetitive injury in my hand, and for once, it's for using my phone.
It's
yay.
Robin Olsen.
Thanks for joining us, Johnny.
31-year-old goalkeeper, Sweden international. We were very much hoping to get that one over the line. It hasn't happened yet. Also, as we were talking about deals, we were very much hoping to be able to announce even more, weren't we, Nick, in terms of the likes of, I've said his name so many times, Alec Collado. And also, we have been able to confirm that 𝐍𝐸𝐚𝐽𝐝 isn't coming. How do you feel overall, Nick?
I don't know. Those two, we wanted one of those two, didn't we? They sound the most exciting. Like, don't get me wrong, Gibbs-White, he looks special, but at the same time, I feel like he's not a player that's going to go and beat 3 or 4 players. One of the other two would have. And that's what we kind of want to see. But at the same time, if we're not going to bring in a winger, does that look like we're going to be gearing more towards playing 3-5-2 again?
I think so. Johnny?
It does, doesn't it? It looks like we're heading in that direction, which in a way can build a bit of confidence, especially with a better midfield. But is that just going to give Slav the face on, and he's just going to keep switching it at half time every time and kind of hinder any kind of progress? He knows what he wants to do. He knows the team he wants. And I think that's why we've been going out for wingers. And if he doesn't end up with any wingers, he could throw a bit of a wobbler, and 3-5-2 could end up being even more static.
Good. Chris has confirmed what I said earlier, that deals can be announced up to 1 a.m., provided they're agreed. The paperwork needs to go in the next 4 minutes.
Right, Hal. So that means that we're staying on until 1 a.m., yeah?
You and Johnny are more than happy. I have no problem with that at all.
Well, we need to give Johnny more screen time, really, after he's drawn on that lovely tie, don't we?
I also rate Fax is fixed, which is completely irrelevant now because we've not used the damn thing.
Well, yeah, it might not be true. So as we were talking about those transfers there, we know we've got over the line Ben Davies, the 26-year-old defender. We've already seen him, of course, play for the Blades already. Left-sided, signed on loan for the entire season. It's a $500K loan fee. If you did miss that, with another $500K if the Blades are promoted. So it's a $500K fee. This is a loan. This is a loan with no option to buy at the end of the deal. That was not something Liverpool were prepared to agree. It runs until June 2022. So that's one that I can talk about with some confidence.
It's just typical Liverpool transfer, isn't it? We want to buy somebody. No, you can only have them on loan. We want to loan somebody. No, you've got to buy him. Why do we do deals with Liverpool? It never works out.
When was the last player we bought from Liverpool that did work out? Or a player who had played for Liverpool? Because I'm thinking like Ian Rush, obviously we didn't get him from Liverpool.
Conor Cody.
Conor Cody, good one. But Conor Cody, every time he played well and they had him on Sky talking, he always said, "Oh, yeah, looking forward to going back to Liverpool." And it was like, "Oh."
We had John Newby, didn't we? We had Ben Woodburn.
John Newby.
Please don't mention that name.
That was the worst for me, Ben Woodburn, because all the Liverpool fans said that Wilder was a dinosaur because they couldn't get anything out of Ben Woodburn.
They like that with all the players, though, aren't they? They seem to think that because he's come through the magical Liverpool setup, that they're going to be the next Stevie G or the next Robbie Fowler or Michael Owen. And no, it turned out to be Barry from, I don't know.
Or Rian from London.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I lost my wording then. Barry from Runcorn. Runcorn, that's the one.
Well, unfortunately, Blades, does look like we can't get too excited about anything because it's only the transfers that we've already reported on. Morgan Gibbs-White over the line. We know that one's happened. Ben Davies over the line. Conor Hourihane, which we reported on yesterday. If you haven't seen the video yet, it is on this channel. Please do subscribe. We are hoping Robin Olsen will be confirmed. It could be up to 1 a.m. That'll be a loan, as will, Nick, can you say his name? The lad from Barca B.
Collado. Alex Collado.
Collado.
Alex Collado. So we hope that'll happen. I'll just say now, if you have missed the stream a little bit earlier, we're extremely excited about Collado. He is a left-footed right winger, so obviously cutting inside will be his game. Johnny, any final words you want to leave us with before we say goodbye?
Fix the fax machine now. That's all I've got. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing one of the Olsen twins at Bramall Lane. It's just a joy to behold.
Right, Johnny, thank you.
Where will people be able to buy your merchandise that you're wearing right now, Johnny?
If you would like a Baby Yorin and Fax Me /Faxes Fixed t-shirt, Send me £20 in the post to the PO box, and I will aim to get one to you by 2052.
Excellent.
Thank you, Johnny. It's the way he does it. He's got it. Johnny, cheers, mate. Looking forward to our next embrace. Nick, we have to wrap it up, and we haven't been able to report on any incomings. I know we speculated before. We said, what's the worst case scenario? Well,
at least we had Morgan Gibbs-White to talk about at the start of the stream, because it happened just before we came on. So something has happened today. It has been, you've got to say, a good transfer deadline day, because Morgan Gibbs-White is an incredible footballer. And we heard it from Ed earlier on, who is a Wolves fan, that the lad, I heard also a couple of people say that he was very, very close to breaking through at Wolves as well. So that's got to be good. That's got to be a good sign, hasn't it, really?
Yeah. I'm excited about Morgan Gibbs-White. I think he'll offer us quite a few options, particularly with the amount of positions that he can play. So sorry, Blades, that we couldn't bring you the news that we hoped to. I really do hope, of course, that the players we've speculated will sign.
Oh, no. Sorry. I'm really, really sorry. Right. I went on the Sheffield United page, and it went all funny, and I thought we got a new one in. I'm sorry. That's my fault.
But to be fair, that was the most exciting thing that's happened on the stream. That sharp intake of breath from Nick. And you got a glimpse there of what it would have been like had anyone played ball. But no, it's not going to be. Thank you very much all for watching. We really appreciate it. We'll be back probably when there has been some confirmed transfer news, but it won't be tonight because, it's sleep.
Sorry, guys. If there is anything, though, we will post it straight on our Twitter account. So if you want to go and follow us at Sheffield United Way, go for it. Thanks, guys. See you soon.